Hi and welcome to SCW, the wrestling channel here on YouTube.com. Thank you for choosing the channel and choosing the video. Please subscribe right now, leave any comments in the comment section. Please like and share the video as well. Talking NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. That's right, the special is this Saturday on the WWE Network. Going to give you my preview and predictions going through all 5 matches, and we'll be talking about one Mr. Cesaro from the main roster of WWE as well, as he is expected to make an appearance at Takeover Cardiff. So without further ado, we're going to go into the matches, and I'm going to kick things off with Travis Banks versus Noam. I expect this potentially to be the first match on the card here, or perhaps maybe in the first couple of matches on the card anyway. There is probably that on the tag team title match, but I'm going to go for this one first, purely because I think that this has got potential to be a show stealer in its own right. Noam, of course, has been involved on the main roster of WWE as well as 205 Live, the Cruiserweight Classic, spending more time now in NXT UK, and they seem to be building him at a slow and decent pace. Travis Banks has been involved in the NXT UK Championship picture. In fact, he's already faced Walter. This makes me believe that Travis Banks is a credible superstar in NXT UK, and I think this is all the more reason why they're going to build a Noam and give him the victory. I don't expect the victory to be clean, but of course this is built around the fact that Noam doesn't come to NXT UK without being put on a takeover. Travis Banks had his takeover moment taken away from him at the last takeover. Of course, he was replaced by Finn Balor to take on Jordan Devlin. So I expect both will get what they need out of this match, but I expect Noam to pick up the victory. Next, then, I will look at the NXT Tag Team Championships, and of course I said this could also be a potential opener of the card, but definitely these 2 matches will be the 2 first matches on the card in my personal opinion. So let's look at this then. It's a triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championships. The champions, the Grizzled Young Veterans, a great tag team name there, James Drake and Zach Gibson, going to be taking on the Welsh tandem of Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, and as well as that, of course, Gallus are in the picture as well, the tandem of Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. For me, this has got potential of being another show stealer. I think, actually, to be honest, looking at the entire card, it's looking a very solid card, this. But these 3 teams here, I mean, one of the tag team matches of the year was at the last TakeOver UK, where Zach Gibson and James Drake won the tag team belts. Gallus, they are accreditable challengers for me in this tag team match, and of course, you've got the hometown boys of Webster and Andrews. Will they pull off the upset? Well, the way that things went off on NXT TV last week, we see that they were beating down the Welsh boys, with the other 2 teams fighting on, as the show went off air, above them. So it does kind of make you wonder, of an underdog, will they pick up the victory? Will there be the hometown heroes coming back and winning the championships? I do feel that there are lacking some babyface credible tag teams here, that it would make more sense going forward for a babyface team to currently hold the belts rather than a heel, because they've got the chance to take on more tag teams like Imperium as well. But of course we have Mustache Mountain that could reunite later down the line as well. So there are many different directions this can go. Looking at the match now, for me, I'm going to make a prediction that the champions will retain. I'm going to go for Zach Gibson and James Drake, because the Grizzled Young Veterans are doing very well currently as the NXT Tag Team Champions, and I think that their reign currently will continue. Next, we will look at the last man standing match. Dave Mastiff, the Bomber, going to be taking on Joe Coffey, of course, the leader of Gallus. These 2 had a match on NXT UK TV, which ended up in, I believe, a double countout at the time. And these 2 couldn't be pulled apart as well. This has led to a last man standing match. I'm going to keep this one fairly short and brief. I think it's going to be a great match. I think that there is a potential that we could see some weapons involved. But for me, there is only one winner here. Dave Mastiff is going to walk away with the victory. I feel he's been slowly built up to become in the championship picture, and if things go how I expect, then I think Dave Mastiff would be a very creditable challenger going forward for the next NXT TakeOver in UK, wherever that may be. So for me, Dave Mastiff is going to pick up the W here, and I think it's going to be a very heart-fought match. Next, before we go to the 2 main matches of the evening, I'm going to talk about Cesaro. He has promised he will be at NXT UK Takeover in Cardiff, on his way to doing I don't know, some promotional work or something in China, but he said he would be there at this show, and I'm excited to see what role he's going to have involved with the show. He said he's going to go for a hands-on approach. So, I mean, is he going to be involved in a championship match? Is he going to perhaps go and challenge the winner of the UK Championship match in the main event? That I'm sure a lot of people would love to see. Maybe the idea of like a Walter Cesaro or even a Tyler Bate and Cesaro, I'm sure would excite many people. I'm going to go for something a little bit different, and as well, I should state as well, Pete Dunne has thrown some interest here, and I, for one, would love to see that match, and I think that that has got a potential of happening. I don't think Cesaro is going to be involved in the NXT Championship picture from the United Kingdom. I think that he could actually become a surprise opponent, because one person that's not listed on this card who has been quite critical of not being featured here is one Jordan Devlin. Now, Jordan Devlin on the last takeover for the UK in Blackpool was supposed to take on Travis Banks. Of course, he took Travis Banks out of the equation. He ended up facing Finn Balor from the main roster. So what other honour could you give Jordan Devlin here if you put an open challenge out and said, I'm competing on this event, I'm not missing out, I'm going to challenge anyone that's back there in the locker room, doesn't matter where you're from. Cesaro pops through the curtain. I think that that would be a very exciting moment. I think it would be a realistic moment as well, if I'm being brutally honest. Maybe some people may disagree with me when they're hearing it, but I think that that has a chance. Then we have a sixth match on the card. I just don't see Cesaro staying in NXT UK for a long period of time, as much as I would love to see him against some of the heavy hitters there, and would perhaps be treated more creditable than he is on WWE's main roster. But that's what I predict will happen with Cesaro on this UK takeover. I think he'll have a match with Jordan Devlin, but if he was to be involved with Pete Dunne, if he was to get involved in the championship picture involving with Walter or Tyler Bate, I'm all in favour of it. Cesaro in NXT UK, for me, I am sold. I'm happy to watch it, but I'll have to see how and what way he's going to fit in this Saturday evening. Of course, could be afternoon if you're listening and you are from the US of A, but for me, English, for me, it will be Saturday evening. Next, I'll look then at the NXT UK Women's Championship match, and the match I'm most looking forward to, Toni Storm, the champion, defending against Kay Lee Ray. The heel has had a lot here of momentum going into this. You almost feel like that I want that momentum to continue in a way, because if I'm being brutally honest, I think Toni Storm's time is time to come now to the NXT roster rather than the UK roster. They're kind of lacking some faces over there. I know Rhea Ripley has just debuted on the other side as well with Shayna Baszler on NXT this past week. I mean, as well, you've got Io Shirai, some top heels there. The faces seems a bit weaker. We've got Candice LeRae, not really been pushed so much. We've had Mia Yim. It kind of was a failed experiment at the last actual NXT takeover, which was on the SummerSlam weekend in Toronto. You could put Bianca Belair back in as a face, but she's been working as a heel as well recently. So for me, I think it's time for Toni Storm to be pushed as well. With NXT going to the USA Network, they've got 2 hours to film. They could do maybe 1 or 2 women boosting up that roster. So I do wonder, my early prediction the whole way through has been Kay Lee Ray, but Kay Lee Ray's had a lot of the momentum. So for me, this is the match I am most torn on the entire card. I do think there is actually a chance that Toni Storm as well could retain, because she is one of the major selling points of the NXT UK brand as well. And of course, they want to continue to sell those shows out. They want to sell out takeovers. They want to sell out the shows when they do their tapings. Toni Storm is a great marketing to make sure that that happens. Pete Dunne has moved over as well to the other NXT. So you need to keep hold of some of your big stars here. So I'm torn here on this one, but to give a prediction and a final prediction, I have said that Kay Lee Ray should win. I'm actually going to predict that Toni Storm will win. So there we go. That's my final prediction there. Toni Storm will retain the championship. But I would say that a championship probably will change at this takeover. I actually think that this one is the most likely to change. So there we are. Massively on the fence, but I think Toni Storm is going to be my final prediction, and I'm sure I could flip back and forth between now and Saturday. Last but not least, then, let's talk about Walter and Tyler Bate, then the NXT UK Championship. A match that's been heavily built, and it seems like it's almost been this Imperium faction having dominance. They took out Pete Dunne, of course. They took out Trent Seven. and then it was only Tyler Bate left. Trent Seven has returned. I do think we're going to get some shenanigans within this match. It's not going to be one-on-one. We are going to get interference. It is going to be a bit of a cluster. Maybe Trent Seven will get involved. We may see the rest of Imperium get involved. Ultimately, to pick up a victory here and to say who will be picking up that victory, I am saying that the NXT UK Championship will be retained. Walter is going to definitely retain, and for me, this is the safest bet of the entire NXT UK card. I do not see Walter dropping that belt anytime soon. I think that he's dominant. He's got credibility as the champion, and if I'm being brutally honest, I know I've said this in previous videos, and it has actually gone that way. I would have trouble suspending disbelief if Tyler Bate was actually able to beat Walter. Seth Rollins beat Brock, but I don't really feel this one's going to happen. I'm very confident Walter will retain. So there we go. That's my NXT UK Takeover Cardiff predictions for you there. What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments below right now. You can keep up as to date as well with other videos posted. Ask SCW is being actually uploaded weekly now, so you can put your questions in with the hashtag AskSCW. As well as that as well, I'm going to be doing All Elite Wrestling. The All Out, I'm going to do some quick pick predictions for that show as well, so keep an eye out for that. But that's all for me on this particular video. Hope you've enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time here on youtube.com. Please like, share and subscribe.